Welcome to Doc Dynasty. I read an incredible article in Inc. magazine about what makes a professional athlete a successful entrepreneur. So I read this article and I thought these are exactly the same things that would make a physician a successful entrepreneur. So Doc Dynasty completely dedicated to keeping you physicians independent and in your own practices. This talk is for those who want to be in private practice, want to own their own practice, or are transitioning into a situation like that. So what are these things that I have found to be paramount in being a successful physician? Number one, discipline. So yes, I am one of these people where my desk always looks neat and my house always is clean before I go on vacation. So I call this discipline. For many of you, it's maybe other things, but I find the simplest thing as cleaning is a disciplinary act. And if I can accomplish the simplest thing, then I can accomplish more complex things. You are not going to be able to run a successful practice without some level of discipline. You have to come into your office to work, not come into your office to play a couple games, not play games between patients. This 8-9 hour day of yours is completely dedicated to becoming successful within your practice. Number two, resilience. So just like professional athletes, there are going to be lots of obstacles that are going to be in your way. And I think this is a part of life. I think it's very important to understand that it isn't a time to quit. This happens to everybody in every field in life. From the time you're a child, you fall down and you get back up, you're going to be doing this all your life. So whether these obstacles are insurance companies changing codes, you being paid less, not being able to perform services that you want to, running an office, having expenses that were not accounted for. All of these things I see as obstacles that you have to take the time at the end of every week or every month or every 3 months or every year to say, how can I do this better? Even things that are outside of your control, if Medicare changes how much you're going to get paid. We all have to find a way around it in a way that keeps you well in your time, but you need to be able to pivot. This is true for all industries. This is true for medicine right now, which is going through a lot of changes that are outside of our control. I have been successful because I've found ways around every one of these. When I started private practice, we only had private insurance. Then they became HMOs. Then hospitals started getting pickier about our privileges and what kind of board certifications we had, et cetera, et cetera. I am 35 years in practice. I've pivoted more times than my oldest kids. Failure also is a part of life. I mean, I don't look at things as failures. I try to look at things as a way to learn. If this didn't work, then you got to fix something else. I think that it's very important to be successful in any field if you don't look at things as failures. You look at them as teaching points or learning points. Number three, growth mindset. We hear a lot about this, but I think it's very important to set goals. And when you've reached those goals, that doesn't mean you sit back and you go, hey, I'm done, I'm successful. A growth mindset means that in order to stay in practice, you need some goal that keeps you going, that's positive. And one of those goals is, this is what I accomplished. This was my 5-year plan. What should I do next? And this doesn't have to be a solo act. You can talk with your spouse, your parents, your accountant, other practitioners. This is something that you can sit down yourself and then collaborate on. And that is my fourth thing, collaboration. We're not in this alone. It's very important to understand that when you're sitting in an office for 10 hours, that, oh my God, what am I going to do? If you're going through it, someone else is going through it. And whether that's on a public platform for physicians, or that is in your hospitals, in your state society groups, share. It's going to help you connect to people who've been through it and have found ways around it. I find that also part of this collaboration and growth mindset is you have to surround yourself with people who are positive, meaning there's lots of complaining going on and all the things that can go wrong. I think it's important, if you want to grow, you need to surround yourself with people who look at that, see the challenge in it, and say, what can I do about it? I hope all of these things help. So the 4 things I find that all successful physicians need in order to be successful in private practice: discipline, resilience, a growth mindset, and the ability to collaborate. Hope this helps.